Good morning. Welcome to the First Religious Society Unitarian Universalist in Newburyport, Massachusetts. I'm Joanna Fernandez, and I have the distinct privilege of serving as your worship associate this morning, our last Sunday with Reverend Rebecca as our settled minister. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. We are so glad you are here. And on what a historical day you have chosen to come. If you'd like to connect, please fill out one of the blue cards in your pew and put it in the collection plate. If you are worshiping online and would like to access this morning's order of service, please click on the link just below the live stream. If you would like a large print order of service or hymnal, please ask an usher and they will be happy to help you. Please take a moment to review your order of service for the many important activities happening this week and beyond. I will highlight 3 in particular, but first I'd like to invite Renee to share about the raffle.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Renee Wolf-Foster, and the chair of the fundraising committee. As we gather for Reverend Rebecca's final service with love and gratitude, I'd like to take a moment to ask for your support. The Take a Break Spring Raffle is a very important part of this year's budget. We need everyone's help to make it a success. We have 3 wonderful prizes that have been generously donated by members, along with a $1,000 Airbnb gift card. Tickets are just $10 each, or 3 for $25. We're back to paper tickets this year, and we'll be holding a live raffle after the Pride service, live raffle drawing on June 14th. If you haven't bought yours yet, we hope you'll visit the raffle table after service. You can also click on the link on our website or in the steeple to buy them online. Every electronic ticket will be converted to a paper one for the June 14th drawing. I have a special request. Many of you helped sell tickets for the Dinner Anywhere in the World raffles, and your efforts played a major role in making those so successful. Please consider taking a few extra tickets after service to share with family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers. Selling tickets is easy, and our volunteers at the raffle table will be glad to explain how it works. You can also contact Vern Ellis, who will gladly provide more tickets. If everyone reaches out to just a few people, we can achieve our $12,000 goal. Every ticket sold makes a difference, as do each of you. Thank you so much for your support and for all the ways that you sustain our beloved community.
Thank you, Renee. This Tuesday evening at 5:30 is the celebration party for Reverend Rebecca at the Newburyport Senior and Community Center. Per Reverend Rebecca's request, this will not be a stuffy affair. So come join together for delicious food, drinks, music, and even nature-themed temporary tattoos, as we bid Reverend Rebecca a blessed farewell and celebrate what has been, as well as new beginnings for us both. You are encouraged to bring along a message to Reverend Rebecca that will remind her of you and us all long after the party is over. Saturday is the Newburyport Pride Parade, which is always a joy-filled event. Show your pride or your allyship by representing FRS at the parade. Email Holly Cashman or see them at coffee hour to sign up. Finally, next Sunday, join us for our combined annual meeting and worship service in the sanctuary and streamed online on Zoom. Everyone is welcome and encouraged to attend. However, you must be a member of the congregation to participate in voting. Please help us reach a quorum by registering. We come together today at FRS, in person and online, as we do every Sunday, committed to love, peace, and justice. Our mission and our invitation to all of us is to come as we are, journey together in love, act with courage, transform our world. Today, we also come together to release Reverend Rebecca as our settled minister. For 8 years, she has brought her whole unique self to her role, and we have relied on her countless gifts. She has modeled radical love, courage, joy, action, purposeful living, and embodied spirituality. She has shown us what it looks like to fully engage with life and spirit, not only with our minds and intellect, but with open, vulnerable, listening hearts, and with bodies in motion, prayer, and meditation. The end of our shared ministry with Reverend Rebecca is the end of a significant chapter in our church. Shared ministry is not just a phrase Reverend Rebecca has used, it has been a lived experience under her leadership. She has opened our church to new avenues in social justice, worship, pastoral care, and community connection, all while reminding us repeatedly that this is our church, calling on us to collaborate, co-create, share our gifts, and lead. She has also continuously called us into relationship not just with each other, but with those outside our walls, with our country, and with our world, including with other beings and the whole of creation. She has called us into relationship with beauty and awe and wonder. And just as crucially, she has continually called us into relationship with our own selves. This is only part of the legacy that she leaves. We are a changed congregation because of you, Reverend Rebecca. Many of us are changed people. Every Sunday, it is such a blessing that we can gather. This Sunday, particularly so. So let us give ourselves to it. It is so good to be together. Welcome once again.
Thank you, Joanna. It is indeed good to be together. So perhaps you could join me in just taking a moment and a breath. Perhaps it's your first time here. Perhaps your family has been coming for generations. Perhaps you are one who has been here long before I came, or perhaps you are one who's been here with me on this journey more or less. Perhaps you're here online. Perhaps you're here in memory. Perhaps you are here and you have yet to come through these doors. May you know that you are loved. May you know that this is a place where everyone belongs, and that the more that we bring ourselves to it, the more that the church does indeed become the people. This is indeed your church. It has been my honor to be with you over these years and to call it ours. It will always be a part of our collective selves. I invite us to take a breath because you see, my dear friends, there is no way, even in a service that will run long, and I ask you to stay just this last time. There's no way we can embody and recognize and forgive and honor and celebrate and name the flaws and shortcomings that we've had in any amount of a worship service. So I hope and pray you feel what you need, that you release the burdens in your hearts and on your minds, that perhaps you can find a way to be in the beauty of what is. The call to worship this morning is entitled Love Invites Us. It is long, and so I will hit its highlights, by Anastasia Barash. We come together to lament with, celebrate with, care for one another in community and in the world, because we want to be with one another. Love is not only at the center, but also it is the opening that invites us to lament, celebrate, and care. Love invites us to honor our interdependence with all beings, kin in the web of existence. It invites us to revel in our uniqueness using pluralism, religious diversity as our guide. Love invites us to counter all forms of oppression with justice and peace. Love invites us to participate in our individual and collective transformation, to connect by opening our hearts to generosity. Love invites us to create inclusive, equitable communities. Love also invites us to worship together. You are indeed faithfully and joyfully called to worship. Let's rise in body or in spirit and join in the opening hymn, number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. You may be seated.
Good morning. Please join in saying our chalice lighting words as Reverend Rebecca and Joanna Fernandez light the chalice. The words can be found in your order of service. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. Each week, we also light on earth we lift up and remember as a sacred encounter with our world. There are untold number of places on earth that need peace. These close in this service and through the week ahead. After each candle is lit, we will sit in shared silence, and then I will invite you to respond by saying peace in 3 languages: peace, salam, shalom. Our first candle is lit for the beginning of Pride Month here in Newburyport and across the country. May these celebrations and the lives they honor be filled with joy and celebration, and above all, safety and justice. And to this we respond, peace, salam, shalom. Our second candle is lit for this sanctuary and this church, the past 8 years with Reverend Rebecca, the previous 293 years before that, and the many generations to come. And to this we respond, peace, salam, shalom. Please rise in body or in spirit and join in our affirmation of faith, followed by the doxology. The words can be found in your order of service.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God. You may be seated.
The generosity of our community is an essential ministry that supports the work of the church, both in Newburyport and beyond. Half of this month's non-pledged collection will go towards helping those in ICE detention return to their families and neighborhoods. Our community partner this month is Beyond Bond and Legal Defense Fund. Every day, ICE arrests and detains members of our communities. Bonds to obtain release from ICE detention can range anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000 per person. The Beyond Bond and Legal Defense Fund raises money to get hundreds of people released from detention and also helps with legal fees for many others. Today's offertory music was won by Hugh Martinez at the auction in the fall. He consulted with Ken Crush to choose the song Anthem by Leonard Cohen. To give online, please use the link in your order of service or below the live stream. You can also make a contribution by text, and of course, you can always mail a check to the church as well. Thank you. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Thank you, choir. And how beautiful it is that we can clap in our appreciation and love and care. This is a time in our service each week where we pause to lift up the joys and the sorrows, the hopes and the dreams of our beloved faith community. Karen Letourneau, our pastoral care associate, will light candles as I read what has been shared with me in advance of today's service. You can always send anything you would like shared to betweenus@frsuu.org, and that will continue to be the email that will be received by pastoral care associates Diane, Carol, Susan Ricker, as the care and the love of this community goes on. I'll also be sharing what was written in the journal in the vestibule. It is there every Sunday when you enter, and anyone and everyone is invited to share something you would like, to write something you would like shared. Let us gather.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
And I light our first candle in joy and appreciation for all of the traditions of Unitarian Universalism. Included here in this service is, of course, the honor and the privilege of congregations calling your settled ministers. We have Arlington Street Church with us, as Nick brought the tradition of sanctuary. Los Angeles with us for the candles of peace. All Souls in New London, Connecticut with us as we learn to know that church is a place of great joy. So many and so much held in one space across time. A number of them, bear with me. I have come to love that these come in every shape and form. Text messages, emails, journals. It's great. Okay. Here we go. We light a candle of care and concern as Joanne Carroll's family, including Diane, asks that we keep Joanne in your thoughts and prayers. Joanne had a stroke on Friday and is in the neurological unit at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, where she is receiving excellent care. She had a surgical procedure to dissolve a blood clot in her neck. The stroke appears to have affected her left side, but the full extent is not yet known. She can move her fingers and toes when prompted, and she can speak a bit. Joan will likely remain in the hospital this week with rehab to follow, and there'll be an address where you can send cards in Mondays between us. We light a candle of love and care as well for Linda Budenhagen and Will and their entire family, as many have followed on their difficult journey over the last almost couple of months. Linda has now come back home and will be continuing her long road of recovery there at their house. Linda and Will both thank you so much for your love and your care, for your cards, and what I know are now some plans to ensure they have meals. We have several candles of joy. This morning we light a candle of joy from Jeff and Ginger Bard, who are celebrating their grandson Jaden Smith's graduation from Marcus High School in Flower Mound, Texas today. Jeff writes, "We are so proud of Jaden and best wishes to all graduating students everywhere." Bruce DeVoe shares the wonderful news that he's pleased to be the first playwright featured in a series of artist spotlight productions at the Actors Studio of Newburyport. Thus, we light a candle of joy, knowing that on June 20th, there will be 4 of his short comedies, an artist talk back, and a social gathering. Everyone is invited to this night of theater, community, and fun. Jane and David Pillemer light a candle of joy and celebration as they are celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary. We light a candle of 2 different candles from Jean Noonan. The first, a candle of joy, and she writes, "Gratitude and love and blessings for Reverend Rebecca, especially for presence, listening, and love in pastoral care and spiritual guidance in journeys of faith." Jean also asks that we light a candle of care for 2 of her friends, Denise, who is traveling to be with her dying sister today, and Jerry, who is sitting vigil for the last hours of a friend's life. I would like to light several candles for the First Religious Society, Unitarian Universalist, and the beloved congregation it is and has been. The first candle is a candle of blessed memory and thanksgiving for all those who have died in the last 8 years and all the hundreds of years before, that they are here, they are remembered, they are loved. We light a candle of love and appreciation, too, for the diversity, the care, and the expression of what it means to be a people of faith in this congregation. When working on the mission statement, the John Mercer helped us get this sort of refrain of, "It's a church of bow ties to yoga pants." John, we all miss you and love you. And I light a candle of deep appreciation for all of the shared ministry that we've had, for the deep care amongst you. As I look out at folks and see you here, I've said multiple times, and I'll say it again in my closing, that you show up. You show up for each other and for this church. You have everything to be excited about and nothing to be concerned about. You are this church. I also light a candle of celebration for Justice Sundays, for worship and music, and all the ways that we integrate our commitment to our liberal religious values. And we light a final candle, as we do each time we gather, for all of the joys, all of the sorrows, all of the hopes and the dreams of this beloved faith community, that although unspoken are held in just as much love and care. Let us join our voices.
With thanksgiving, I'll be
Please join me in a spirit of prayer, meditation, and contemplation. Spirit of love and light, community, be with us now. Open our hearts to recognize the gifts we receive, unmerited. That is grace. The rainbows, the rainstorms, the grass and the sand, the puppies and the birds, the relationships that have been and the relationships that will come. Open to our minds and our hearts to recognize and realize the importance of knowing one another, of genuinely being open to understanding the path, the journey, and the life of another person and people, particularly so as Unitarian Universalists, that we may live fully into our values, our belief in the inherent worth and dignity of every person, the use of the democratic process, justice, compassion in all affairs. Spirit of peace and justice, be with us now as we listen to a message from one of our members, as we embark and begin tomorrow in Pride Month, knowing that the month of Pride has a long and important history. It has its deep, deep well of reserve and also deep need of safety and understanding, as is true with so many populations of people. May we open our hearts. Melissa Rose Williamson has asked me to share what I'm about to share, and I'm including it and integrating it into a prayer because, in fact, love is a doctrine of this church. Service is its prayer. This will be Melissa's last Sunday service here as a member of FRS, as she has taken the very difficult decision to move to Costa Rica. As a member of the transgender community with a history of promoting transgender rights, Melissa has found these last couple of years to be especially challenging. It's been difficult to find joy in her life. And like many in her community, Melissa has been upset by the way in which the transgender community has been targeted politically. There are examples that can be shared and will be in between us. As I circle the words with love, holding in our minds and our hearts all members of the transgender community, LGBTQ+, Black community, immigrants, refugees, elderly, economically disadvantaged, challenged. May we know how deeply integrated the work of this congregation is to all of these people and the earth. Melissa reminds us that being attacked in the way transgender people are, it's of course a political scapegoat rather than the true object of the exercise. She believes that at best, continuing with her activism on behalf of transgender community here would not, in the United States, would not address the real issues of white supremacy and the oligarchy. Therefore, Melissa believes that the best course of action is to remove herself from this sphere of immediate conflict and find joy in a more hospitable, peaceful, and not to say warmer, environment. Melissa's greatest sadness in moving is she must leave behind her family, including 3 beautiful granddaughters in Maine, and her friends, of course extending to her friends here at FRS, which includes everyone here today as well as everyone she has met and interacted with over time. Again, holding what this really means as people make difficult decisions in their lives to seek the justice and the safety and the peace, the warmth and the welcome that everyone deserves. Melissa truly appreciates the support and love she received during her years at FRS and sends her love to us all. She does expect, assuming she's feeling safe enough to do so, to visit her family in Maine and also to return here to visit FRS. She invites any friends here or planning to visit Costa Rica's Central Valley to contact her, and she would love to say hello. We'll make sure that Diane has her contact details. So, my friends, in the confines of the hearts of us all lives the need to belong, the need to know we are enough, just as we are, entirely as we are, in our unique expression of life. So may all those who seek and need safety find it. May we remember within ourselves always is everything. The confidence, the joy, the vulnerability, and the needs. And may we be wise and humble enough to greet everyone this way. Amen.
This morning's reading is entitled Don't Hesitate by Mary Oliver, which was read at Reverend Rebecca's installation. If you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give into it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed, or about to be. We are not wise, and not very often kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibility left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happens better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything, but very likely you notice it in the instant when love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not made to be a crumb.
Thank you, Joanna. Looking for my glasses. I didn't need these 8 years ago to read things on my phone. I do now. I'll be brief in my reflection. I need to find a particular thing, however. Yes. When I was thinking about this morning and knowing the importance of us recognizing truly the polity of Unitarian Universalism and Congregationalism, some other faith traditions, where it is the body collect that is the church, which is you, knowing that most of what needs to happen this morning is a heartfelt thank you and goodbye, perhaps some forgiveness and a recognition as well, where and how we have fallen short, collectively and individually. It's been said that one of the things that Unitarian Universalists are less comfortable with, adept at, is this concept of sin, forgiveness, reconciliation. So I wanted to take a moment or two to reflect on that, to offer that, to allow ourselves to fully and entirely move into love and gratitude. I learned years ago from a Unitarian Universalist minister, that anything that we shut down or we cut off or we don't allow ourselves to feel shuts down everything else as well. That we can't selectively decide what it is that we allow and selectively decide what it is we're going to dismiss, cut off, or shut down. I believe that for many traditions, that therefore is the importance of having a way to recognize that, yes, we have fallen short. The concept of sin for me, and I believe I've shared this over the years here, but is best expressed by the theologian Paul Tillich. And what he talked about was it is the times, which for many of us happens multiple times a day, that we step out of alignment with our truth. He calls it the ground, or called it the ground of our being. And that when we do so, it literally requires only an acknowledgement, an act, a willingness then to right ourselves back into that flow, to forgive ourselves and others. The flow of life, my friends, is where everything begins, continues, and will guide us on. I think of Rumi's poem, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in the grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. So I'd like to invite us for a moment to just bring ourselves into the heart of our hearts, and you may do that quietly. You may do it by placing your hand on your heart. My friends, in all of our days and in all of our lives, we step out of the flow at times. We are less than we might be. I ask now that in our shared ministry, for any and all of the many times I have fallen short, that you forgive me. So too do I acknowledge and recognize that over the tenure of our shared ministry, we have made mistakes collectively. Though it may be easy to point fingers to one thing or another, this, the gathered body, is the collective. And I pray that we may release and forgive, knowing what acts of restitution or change need to happen, learning, taking action, but letting the bitterness fall. So too, in each and every one of your lives, you have fallen short because we are human. May you know you are forgiven. You never even need to ask. Simply know that you are the beloved, that you are human and divine, perfect, just as you are, until you evolve and change. Then there you lie in the perfection of life. I invite you to take a moment now, and if you have any specific things, even beyond the church, that you would like to release, take this moment to do so. Let it go. Let it go. I chose Rumi's poem because if I were to look for one reading that encapsulated so much of our ministry and of my hopeful messages to you, is that poem. Out beyond these ideas of right and wrong, the divisions, the judgments, the them and me. Not me, but a person thinking them and me. The first time we really talked about this together was when we began to talk about non-duality, dropping the binary, living in the reality of and. That every time we use the term but, we separate a little more. Every time we believe there is a right and a wrong, we separate. I learned that as much as that might feel good in the moment, it will never lead ever to the peace, the justice, and the love that we need in this world or in our own hearts. Before we move into the actual ritual and tradition, I wanted to take a moment and say thank you. We'll be doing that collectively, as I'll explain, but I want to thank you for being the people that you are, for showing up, for wearing bow ties and yoga pants, for saying yes and saying no, for telling me when there's lipstick on my teeth, for crying and laughing and playing and arguing and being the church together. I said the day that I stood here with a little bit of fear of heights, I'll be honest. The first time I came back up here, I was like, wow. The words I said to you spontaneously after you had voted to begin our shared ministry together, this was unanimously in, I don't know, February, I believe, of 2018. I may have that wrong, but before we began our work in August. I was exhausted, let me tell you that. That week that I spent with you was both joyous and invigorating and tiring. And I was exhausted. I'd been sitting over in commune with coffee with my family and wondering, what are they doing over there? You do take your time as good you use. But when I came back in, and the search committee came to get me and greeted me at the door with a big bouquet of flowers, big. And I was told recently that I danced down the aisle, which I believe, I didn't remember I did, but I believe that. And I came up these stairs, I looked out at you all, and I not only said thank you, I said you won't regret it. So we all came into this with ideas, including myself. I was going to be here for more than a decade at least, until I decided it was time to retire. I didn't realize what was to come. And I don't regret a moment of it. We've gone through things we could never, ever have imagined. And we did it together. So whether you are new, long time, whether you were here that day, whoever you are, I wanted to say thank you for giving me the gift of serving as your first settled female minister. Thank you. So we'll move into a ritual that we do together. It has 3 parts. First, we're going to do some embodied thanks, where people will represent parts of the shared ministry that we've had. And we will remember it, we will bless it, and I will release it and literally return it to you, for it is yours. And then we will go through our covenant, the same one we did when we made our covenant, and release it, letting it go, thanking, honoring, and releasing that shared covenant so that you and I may walk freely into the future that we will have. And we'll have a laying on of hands and some beautiful singing for the end. So let us begin. Let's not start the sanctuary on fire the last time I'm doing this. I do remember John Mercer saying to me more than one time, "You sure do like candles." And so do you. I remember the church and the sanctuary lit with candles for candlelight, and then more recently with candles that could stay on all month and certainly wouldn't have a fire in the sanctuary. So we have in front of us now representatives, certainly not all of them. There couldn't be, because all of you would be up here, and you will be participating in a few minutes. But this gathered group of people represents just some of the aspects of our shared ministry. Again, there's no way that I could lift them all up here. But in so doing, my intention and hope is that you see and feel and know and remember the work and the love and the worship and the time we have spent together. Know that I honor it greatly and that I return it to you. We start down at this end. These are members of the search committee of your congregation who did the hard work of choosing the minister that you needed at that time. You had spent 2 years in interim ministry. You had done workshops. You had written down what you needed and wanted. You wanted pastoral care. You wanted justice. You wanted the church to be more involved beyond the walls. This group of people, though we have some representatives of those who cannot be with us, these members of the search committee, I just want to say their names, reflect momentarily, and then I'm allow them to have a moment of return. So we have Steve Costello, Sarah Spalding. We have Rebecca Brodish. Joanna is representing Rebecca Brodish and the Reverend Sophia Lyons. We have Ray Wilson, who is representing Jeff Bard and John Mercer. Oh, the things that can happen in 8 years. So members of my search committee, sorry, this may be the hardest of all for me. Would you breathe for me, please? From dancing at the restaurant when we first met in person, to being genuine and laughing, wondering, and imagining. From not telling me about the beauty of the steeple because your UA said you shouldn't unduly influence candidates, to recognizing the importance for women and all marginalized people to use the title Reverend, to being curious about the congregation's commitment to racial justice, and for so much more, I say thank you.
On behalf of the entire search committee, I first want to say thank you to the congregation. It was an honor to be put in that role to help find our settled minister for the next chapter. It is something that we took very seriously. It was a big responsibility, and it was a lot of work. But there is a magic after putting in that work and meeting and just knowing that you had found the one, the right candidate. So in farewell from the search committee, we love you. We thank you for your ministry, your leadership, and your love.
And Karen Young is not here, but I'll say, no, Karen Young, I don't have on waterproof mascara. She always asked. The next representation of the shared ministry that we had belongs to our commitment and support of the indigenous people of this land. This was something that, along with Habitat for Humanity, started quite early as our justice work together began. Some of you may or may not remember, but I wanted to use this flag to make sure you did know its story. That this is the flag of the Pennacook Band of the Abenaki people, the people of this land, indigenous people, and that it is not one we bought, not even on Amazon, but it was given to us by the tribal leaders. That after the work that had gone into starting Indigenous Peoples Day here in Newburyport, Massachusetts, thank you Mara and Linda Lou and others. After that work began, leading as well to the vote of the City Council to honor Indigenous Peoples Day rather than Columbus Day. And so many other things. Our children and youth have been very involved in this. Paul and Denise came and gave us this flag on one of their visits here in a worship service to honor our partnership and the work that we did together. So I wanted to say thank you. I wanted to honor that work, and I wanted to release the care, the stewardship, and the ongoing love to that partnership to this congregation.
Thank you, FRS, for acknowledging and honoring our Indigenous history, right down to the very land upon which this beautiful sanctuary is situated.
And I just want to express gratitude for the opportunity to build relationships through this work, both within our congregation and within all of the community members who were a part of renaming that holiday.
And I would encourage you to go to the celebration down by the water. It had a beautiful and long history. Next, I want to honor and remember and celebrate the congregation's commitment and care of and investment in the Mirzari family. These two representing, meaning these two particular issues representing all of the commitments to justice that this congregation has. If we were to have all 14 groups come up here with representatives, we'd be here a mighty long time. So these two are chosen, but there are so many others that you have. And I release all of them to your care, investment, and stewardship. I look now at this photo board, and I wanted to thank, again, representatives of literally, I think there's 8 on the core volunteer group, and hundreds of you who have supported and have been involved with the Mirzaris over these last years. But Tina Turner, Lee McLaughlin, and Kathy Strobel are here and truly have been some of the most committed and involved people every step of the way. From medical care and ensuring that every single one of those family members has the best care, and we know there's been many needs. Thank you, Kathy. And Lee, for your love and care of the twins, as we call them. the volunteer group began to sort of be aligned with particular of the 9 children. Because imagine if you happen to be a parent who's of any children in the school systems, you know what that takes. So Lee has worked with the twins for all of these years, just as every other one of the children and now young adults has their ally. Bettina honoring and organizing all of the volunteers for the tutoring, meeting each and every one of those people where they were in their language skills, and ensuring that today they are integrated into our community. So for these representatives and to all of you, from the time that we began and so quickly right near the holidays turned this parish hall into a home where there became bathrooms, showers, beds, a stove that they could cook on, where there were warm linens and teddy bears on every single bed, a backpack, and the child's name, for all that you all did to ensure that that happened. For the tutoring and the medical care and the love, now on to jobs and driving, women driving who would not be driving in Afghanistan. Graduating from high school, in community colleges, getting their jobs, having their dreams. This is the work of this beloved faith community. This particular photo board was made for the congregational discussions that happened before the vote was taken to extend the use of Parish Hall for up to 2 years. You may remember that when I came to the board and the board unanimously agreed, we were doing what we were told would be like a 2 or 3 week place where people could live safely. Well, that 2 or 3 weeks ended up being 2.5 years. So we had come to you to get the vote to extend the use of the parish hall for 2 years. And the volunteers and I were nervous. We were worried. We knew what this family needed. So these photos were put together. There was no need to be worried. You voted unanimously to continue to allow them to use that space. So now, as the family is on their own, but still deeply in relationship and need and care of this congregation, you became their family. They're doing wonderful, but never underestimate the relationship they have with this congregation. Smiles, friends, this is what they need. So I honor and bless the work we've done together, and I turn this back to you at this time.
Thank you. It's been a privilege to be a part of this very important, fulfilling work. And I would speak, I think, for all of us saying that we're very grateful for all of the support that you have given us.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a great experience, and the family still continues to bring me joy. Thank you for making it happen.
Yes, thank you for initiating this really important work, which we probably would not have done without you.
Okay, now we're going to turn to the staff. Again, representatives of the full staff team. Mara, that was great. We rehearsed some of this. Diane, Mara, Nick, Donnie. Luckily, my gift back to these beloved people has some humor to it. But before I laugh with you, I just wanted to thank you for all of the work that you've done over all of these years. I know that in the intervening time since my announcement to leave came out, there have been the not really unexpected, but still difficult bumps. I remember how each and every one of you came into the positions you're in. And I remember and will always be grateful for the work, the dedication, the love, and the care that you bring to this community. They are fortunate to have you. I have been blessed to work with all of you, and I wanted to say thank you. And what I'd like to give you back, begrudgingly, I will do it. We have to let go of what is not ours. This is bobblehead Jesus. So I love bobblehead Jesus. It took me 6 years to get bobblehead. Bobblehead Jesus predates all of this staff team, including myself. It goes back to Julie Parker Amory and to Frank Clarkson before Julie. Frank is a now retired minister from the Haverhill congregation, but he did his field study here, and Frank is a Christian. And so when the staff had the Yankee swap, which I had to learn what that was. I was not a Yankee when I came here, but it's been a tradition for decades. Frank gave this to someone, and when I came, it was Julie Parker Amory's. And I said, Julie, what is that bobblehead Jesus in your office? It's just a little unusual for a UU church. And she explained, and every year after Christmas, when we would have our holiday party and do the Yankee swap, I wanted bobblehead Jesus, and it took me 6 years to get him. So, thank you, Jesus. Diane.
Thank you very much. Just want to say it's been an absolute blessing to be here with you and be in worship with you. And it will be a continued blessing to be with all of you into the future. And all of you as well.
And we turn now, thank you. We turn now to the 300th anniversary, 2025, spanning 2 church years, 300 years of this beloved faith community. Starting down on Market Square, moving here, it has been here. It has been here through all those ministers, which though it's not a lot on UU standards, it represents centuries of liberal religious religion in this community. And so when Lori Evans Daly willingly volunteered, you didn't even say yes, you came to me and said, I would like to ensure that we have a year of celebration for this important, important marker in the history. I, of course, said yes. We have the book that was updated, the history book, An Impossible Feat. Thank you, Sue, Lori, Vern, and all the volunteers. We had beautiful events throughout the year, Paula and Glee in her historical sermons. It was a year that, though simple, held the respect and the dignity and the gravitas that this congregation is worthy of. So, do I have the, there it is, thank you. So, although the actual weathercock is over at the Newberry Historical Museum, this was made for the anniversary and representing all of your history. I bless and thank you for allowing me to be a part of this, and I return it now to you.
Reverend Rebecca, we are so honored that you were our minister during this celebration, which was so monumental. 300 years, that's remarkable, and we're blessed that you were here during that celebration. Thank you.
Okay. And finally, before we turn to the interim search committee, and again, we couldn't possibly represent everything, but this next one is especially dear to my heart. These journals, these journals began to be located in the vestibule the first Sunday I arrived. This journal complete and filled with all the Sundays, the people, your worries, your celebrations, your hopes, the deaths, the births, all that happened. And then this one, which is about 3/4 completed. To me, this represents the lifeblood of this congregation, for it is the people and your lives and all that goes into them that makes FRS UU what and who it is. So Florence Mercer, who was the chair of the Parish Friends for 15 years, who also continued to do that in my first couple of years here with my great gratitude, because you knew everyone and were able to help me know what I needed to know. Susan Ricker took over from you, and I know she counts on you just as much as we do. Nancy Kidd, representing Pastoral Care Associates, for all of your love and your support. For Reverend Helen, who is not with us today. For all those who've served as Pastoral Care Associates. The calls, the conversations, the support groups, the showing up. Always saying yes, much of which is not known to the congregation. I want to thank you both and all the people that work with you. And so I bless and love the members of this congregation and friends, and return it now to you for your care.
Thank you very much. I just want to say the Parish Friends are still going and working for you. And thank you, Reverend Rebecca, for supporting us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Reverend Rebecca. It's been such a joy and an honor to support this beloved community with your guidance and your teaching. And we will miss you, and we love you.
Leading now and transitioning into your future, we have representatives of the Interim Search Committee. I want to make sure I have all of the names. We have Amy Cameron, Tom Himmel, Sharon Tillman, Holly Cashman, and Julie Menon, who is traveling today. I wanted to thank you all for standing up, for coming in, for saying yes at what I know is a difficult juncture and time. I can only imagine the responsibility that you felt. I can only imagine what people may have said to you, their hopes, their wishes, their frustrations, what they need and want. And there the 5 of you were, taking all of that, speaking to prospective interim ministers, and making what I know was a perfect and beautiful choice. So I wanted to say thank you, and I am honored to turn over the reins of serving as your senior minister to the interim minister when they take their place.
Well, Reverend Rebecca put it well in terms of our feeling about the responsibility to this community and this congregation, and this sums it up as well as anything else, from Sarah and the search committee on the far end through all these people here and what they represent. All we can say is one of our members on this team said, we can hope now that the past is prologue to our future together. We take your blessings that you've given to this community, and we look forward to working with the interim minister to carry that forward in the years ahead. Thank you.
For everyone that we missed, worship and choir and green team and on and on and on, adult faith formation and membership. Let's all celebrate this beloved faith community. Please join me. Okay, thank you everyone. And now as we enter into the formal release of our covenant with one another, hold all of this in your mind and heart and know that that is what we're honoring.
Now, flanked by linear time, the 300 years of history and momentum of this particular church in a long tradition of religion going back thousands of years, embracing the turn to Unitarian Universalism, we now come to the point in secular time where we come to the closing of the cycle of a settled ministry. On this day, we, the members of the First Religious Society, with the support and witness of friends and guests in our midst, are gathered to thank and release Reverend Rebecca Michaela Bryan as our settled minister. We chose Reverend Rebecca to be our minister by unanimous vote on May 6, 2018. We have since lived, worked, and worshiped together in shared ministry.
Today we celebrate our shared ministry, acknowledge the good ministry and works we have done together, and release our covenant with Reverend Rebecca with love and gratitude.
Members of the First Religious Society, and yes, these are the words we spoke together at the installation. I've been honored and thrilled to serve as your settled minister. I did so wholeheartedly, knowing that yours was the call for me. Over the past 8 years, we have worked, worshiped, played, and grown together. I have come to know and love you as individuals and as a congregation. Today, we are celebrating that ministry and releasing our covenant with one another.
Members of the First Religious Society, I have been honored and thrilled, will the members of the First Religious Society please rise in body or in spirit and join me in saying these words of affirmation and release. We, the members of the First Religious Society, Unitarian Universalist, chose you, Reverend Rebecca, as our settled minister. In our search for the right minister for our beloved congregation, we were clear about our desire for a visionary, creative minister to help us grow spiritually and find paths to improve the world around us. We found that ministry in you, Reverend Rebecca.
Dear members, I lift up your distinguished history as a beacon of liberal religious faith in and beyond this community for 301 years. I heard your call to a shared ministry in which we discerned and worked toward fulfilling our mission and creating a bold and inspirational future that honored the past and celebrated the new. It is time now to be grateful for all we have done together and learned together, and to release our covenant with one another.
Will the children and youth please rise and join me in saying these words of affirmation? Please remain standing for the duration of this act. Ready? We, the children and youth of First Religious Society, Unitarian Universalist, chose you, Reverend Rebecca, to be our minister. We promise to have fun, learn, and worship with you and each other. We promise to be true to ourselves and to love one another.
Dear children and youth, I have been thrilled to be your minister. You are all amazing. I've always learned so much from every single one of you, and I bless you today and always. Shine on.
Will all the members, children and youth, please rise and join in our release of covenant for our shared ministry with Reverend Rebecca Michaela Bryan. We, the members, children, and youth of the First Religious Society, thank and release you, Reverend Rebecca Michaela Bryan, as our settled minister from this day forward. Will everyone, including our guests and friends, please now rise in body or spirit and join our voices for this final blessing.
We honor
And celebrate the commitments that we have witnessed and the shared ministry that was created together over the last 8 years. May the memories of our ministry live long and well. May the lives of all here be blessed, and may this be a church that continues to work for peace, love, and justice. May the days ahead be faithful, joyful, and good. Amen, and may it be so.
I almost want to say good morning. Friends, most of you know about the laying on of hands. It has such a long and deep tradition. But in our free church tradition, in addition to the sort of passing on of the torch of ordained ministry that meaning that it has in more hierarchical organizations of our brothers and friends, in our free church traditions, both congregational and UU and maybe others, it has even more centrally the symbolism that the minister is called forth from among the faithful. And then we, all of us together, bless her or him. So we're going to do that again today, this time not in calling her, but in releasing her. And it traditionally includes a prayer, so I'll ask your indulgence in a few words of prayer. So that we can all literally be joined, here's what I'll suggest, is when I give the word, in addition to Joanna and Jane here, and anyone who's still standing here, coming round and laying hands on Reverend Rebecca, that anyone who feels so moved from the congregation also to come forward. Lay hands on her or on the person in front of you who is in turn touching her. And for those for whom there's not room or who choose to stay in your pews, please join each other's hands in the pews. Make sure if you're at the end of a pew that you're touching a person in the pew in front of you, and join across the aisles too, so that no one in this congregation is not joined to Reverend Rebecca. And let me say in addition, before we say it, because this is the time to say it, that Reverend Rebecca wants to make sure that you understand that as we are giving energy to her, she wants you to know and feel that she is giving energy to you. Energy goes both ways. She wants you to know that she would be holding you in her arms in this same moment and forever, and that her hands will be laid on your minds and hearts whenever you need it. So let's move into place. Make sure to join hands across the aisles too. That might be the first move. If you're at the end of an aisle, please join the person in the aisle across from you. Come on, join in. Don't hold back. Anyone who's not connected yet? Please join me in a couple of moments of prayer. O you who are light and life, source and center, sustainer, guide, and home at the last, love, lover, and beloved, we come today to send on her way with our love and our blessing this dear sister and our minister, Reverend Rebecca. And we ask for her the continued blessing of the infinite and eternal. May her valleys be exalted and her rough places be made plain. May her way, even when difficult, be guided by deep wisdom and sustained by love. And may she, time and again, be drawn back to the journey to know her true center and deepest truth. We also ask blessing for ourselves, for our ongoing life as a congregation. May her learning, her leaving, be the occasion of growth instead of decline, stepping forward instead of holding back. Give us patience and discernment as we enter a time of preparation for what lies ahead. Increase our love for each other. Strengthen us to support Reverend Rebecca in her covenant to refrain from contact with us for the next 2 years. May there always be room in her life and in ours for more love, forgiveness, true humility, and answering the call of our deepest, truest self. Help us to remember that there is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. May the light of this gathering be received wherever it is needed, falling in a rain of blessing on the earth. May all creatures be blessed, and may all sentient beings be drawn ever closer to their source and center and deepest fulfillment. And will all whose hearts join in these sentiments join me in saying amen. Amen. Now, as you move back to your places, I want you to take seriously what we've said about the blessing that goes both ways. And that means also our blessing in connection with each other. So please, as you move, in just a moment when I give the word, notice the people as you pass, maybe even catch their eye, knowing that you are blessed and blessing. Okay, let's return to places and prepare for our final hymn, number 128, For All That Is Our Life. And remain standing afterward for our unison benediction.
Hymn number 128. Please remain standing, and let's join now in saying the unison benediction as members of the two search committees come and extinguish the chalice. The words can be found in your order of service. May the love which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us now and always. Me first? Yeah. My friends, as we prepare to go from this place, may we know that we never, ever leave the grace of the goodness of life, community, that each and every tragedy helps us be who we are, that each and every apparent loss comes to be realized as the gift it can be. For all that is our life, for all that was our ministry, and for all that is to come, I wish you peace, I wish you love, and I wish you joy, now and always. Go in peace, my friends. Return again in great joy. Amen, and blessed be. And there is coffee next door.
In a state